Coming to you live from the bays of Clearwater, Florida, right down the street from the home of the Buccaneers and the Lightning, two of the most successful sports teams. Trust me, I know everything sports related. It's Monday night, which means it can only be one thing. Car Stereo Talk with your hosts, myself, Bean, and Fernando. Yay! Woo! Yay! Welcome to the show, guys. I hope everyone had a fantastic Monday like we did. Woo!
You did?
No, Monday. It was Monday, bro. So, welcome. Good job, Frank. The tank strikes again. Yes, he does. Good evening, Brad. How's everything going?
Good evening, everyone.
Come on. Yummy. Getting that protein bar. Yay.
Don't they say protein bars are bad for you?
Oh, these are totally bad for you, but I need something to eat before we do this because I haven't had anything to eat since this morning. So, otherwise, I'll be passing out. So, welcome, everybody. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. If you'd like to know how mine went, boring life of Dean and Haley last night. We went over the whole cruisy cruise. I think to summarize it, I almost had to kill somebody once. And other than that, it was fantastic.
Oh, that's it? Just one?
Just once. Dude, she almost died. She almost died. Bro, Brad is creating quite the following. Look at that. Brad! Hey, Frank. Mr. Ott! You know.
Yeah.
It's quite
that's fantastic.
It is.
Yeah.
Quite the popular. Pioneer PRS or POS? It's funny how you can change one letter, right? It's very odd. Very odd. It's just so weird. What is up?
What's up?
How's it going, man? Good afternoon for the Twin Cities. Another Chamber of Conference day up here. Oh, really? That's fantastic. I mean, just another day in the install bay. Came back to, a question, a trip, an idea. Stumbled through the right way of the forest and got home. Is that Alexis in the install bay? That is our favorite SC430. Yes, it is. Typically come home. You know, it was funny, too, because we had one Monday last week. I think it was Monday. And we couldn't do it because they had this weird transmission lock in it that we would have had to lift the car up, pull the heat pan out.
That, yeah.
I thought that was this morning.
That was the same thing.
But this is another headache. So get off and yay, SC430 nightmare. So working on that today. Amongst other headaches that I've ran into. So
yay.
Nothing too exciting. I hate talking about these cars. That's why we didn't go live, because I hate that we're good at them. It just it sucks so bad. So I'm going to star this. Go ahead and get your questions in. We will put stars next to them so we can circle back around. New to this channel. Thanks for all your help. Well, thank you for finding us, and hopefully you continue to stay.
Yeah.
Or at least subscribe, like, and do all those other cool things that us shills of the internet ask you to do.
For sure.
So, speaking of that, let's just hop right into it. We have, first things first, we do this little page called the 12-Volt Clean Wire Club over on the Facebooks, or the Books of Faces. And a lot of you guys are there. And every week, Fernando scours the page to find a photo of the week. And so this week, let's jump over to the laptop. We have the Audio Edge, came out with this nice little tech-flexed 3D printed monstrosity of wire, looking also connected. Oh, wow, they made a 3D printed battery. That's pretty cool.
Holder? Yeah, pretty cool,
nice.
right?
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Nice. Very nice.
Everything was pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, and this, of course, is brought to you by DNF Tool Drawer.
Yeah.
And you say, what is DNF Tool Drawer? Well, DNF Tool Drawer is a place you can find all the cool tools that we use for installation. And there is a recent addition to the tool drawer. So let's do this. Let's head over here, and we'll go to DNF Tool Drawer. You guys asked for this. I think this is it here. Is it this? Yep, DNF Tool Drawer. And then let's scroll down here to, I believe it's under Meters and Probes. We'll come into Meters and Probes. And then if we scroll down here to the bottom, there it is.
Oh, wow.
The Arc Audio target curve. and of course their frequency response chart. They're all there for you to download and do whatever you want. Screen capture, probably just screen capture. You do this guy right here. It says save image to downloads, save as image.
If I don't have a Mac.
It's all the same. It's all the same. It's all the same. But they're right there. And then also you go to polarity. So there's polarity here. There's left, center, right guy, and there's a pink noise. So this is the track that goes pop, pop,
pop, pop.
Yeah, so it's popping. Let me do this. So now it might be popping. Might be popping.
It is popping.
It could be popping. I mean, it's popping rather loud. Okay, let's stop that. But anyways, there you go. It's up. It's there for you guys to have fun with. So you asked. We made it happen. We made it happen. I actually got it done that night. For those of you that were like, are you going to get it? Yes, it's done. So you can download that and have lots of fun with it. And speaking of Arc Audio.
Yeah.
Well, actually, before we get into that, go ahead and pull the bottom part out. Okay. So a good friend of mine, a good friend of the show, good friend of lots of people in the industry, good friend of, I've known this gentleman for 30 years. We've had him on the show before. He was the first person to hold Haley outside of myself or Sue. I've literally known him for 30 years. He's been my Stinger sales rep back when it was Amp of America and Amp Global. We've partied many, many times. Been to his house on countless occasions. He's been to my house on countless occasions. Been through all his marriage and divorces. Anyways,
Sebastian played with him.
Everyone has played with him.
Yeah.
He was a great guy.
Yeah.
Got him through COVID because he was working from home and sanity was questionable. But unfortunately, this past weekend, he's had heart issues in the past, but he passed away. It really sucks. It's a good friend of mine by the name of Arty, Boise. If any of you were his rep or anything in the Northeast, was his.
He was in one of our shows.
It was one of our shows.
The beginning of the shows.
Yes.
So.
But anyways, he passed away this past weekend. Really kind of was surprising. I won't get into the details of it because it's really nobody's business. But just really sad. If any of you knew him or if anybody, either rep, it was your rep or anything like that, just want to let you know. But normally we don't do this, but he was a really good friend of mine, and I just kind of wanted to, have a moment of silence, so to speak. Yeah. Just a moment. Not too long. You would have drove me crazy. So just a moment. And the moment is over. I will miss him a lot, as will many others. So moving on, because nobody likes to Debbie Down it. But, okay, so where were we? We were going to talk about...
So,
we're going to do that. So this first segment is brought to you by Arc Audio in the Moto line of products. Now, for those of you guys that are into motorcycles, motocross, things with motors, okay, but Harley is a really popular one, as we all know.
You can put it in cars, too.
You can put it in cars, too. But just announced is the PSM Pro Plus Nav TV Zen H for the 2023.5 Plus Harley-Davidson motorcycles. That's right. This piece is out and available. This is what you need. If you got that crappy factory radio with that other system that it comes with, you can buy this. And you can tune it yourself. You can interface with the radio because Zen is like an Amp Pro. It's their version of the Amp Pro. It's just made by Nav TV. So for more information, you can head over to arcaudio.com and check this new piece out. And for those of you that are going, I have a Harley, don't forget to pick up your pre-made wiring harness that makes your installation super easy, as well as, don't forget, you're going to need to power this thing. This is your Moto 800. This is the new one. And then that's why it's shaped like this, because it's shaped specifically for motorcycles. You can use it in cars. But they also make this amp rack. So you want to make sure to pick this guy up because this attaches to this, and this can then get mounted into place into the motorcycle or any place else you feel like you want to make a cool amp rack. Instead of putting feet on this, you can screw this down. This goes into here. Oh, it makes installation so much easier. Just look how small this is. So it's a very powerful 4-channel amplifier. We will be unboxing it and doing a dyno and all those cool things too here shortly. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, head over to arcaudio.com for more information.
Sorry.
No, that's okay, man. It's all right. I just went on through. I got her done.
I know.
I I got her done. Good evening. Arty was my rep. Great guy.
Yeah.
Yes, Steve. There you go. No, yeah, it was very sad. Yeah, I suck at this, so we'll just keep going. All right, pull the next one. I'm sorry. Is there a way to completely bypass the factory radio and just use a hi-fi player with aftermarket amps that connect to the factory speakers in order to maintain my OEM ANC microphones on a 2017 Accord? No. The ANC has to go away. All right. ANC, or automatic noise canceling, it falls in a couple different categories. In the Honda, it is auto noise canceling. It is just like noise canceling headphones on an airplane. It does the same thing. It listens to the cabin and the noise that's coming through the glass, and it inverts it and plays it at a similar amplitude to make the car quieter. If you put a stereo in there that is louder, the ANC is going to try to be louder because everything passes through it. So it knows what the sound is, meaning it knows what the audio is. It's not like it just works on its own. It has the audio from the radio passing through the module back into the radio. Okay, so it's creating this feed and putting it back into the signal. So it would never work because it just, if you built a whole system outside of it, maybe, but no one would do that. No. So it has to be disconnected. It has to be pulled out. If you leave it in, it causes all kinds of crazy havoc in the car because it's going to try to recreate the signal that is not supposed to be there at the volume it's not supposed to be there, which means it's going to perpetually get louder until it just blows all the speakers in the car.
Yeah, and you're not going to have a great
So the ANC has to go by. And like the Honda is the easiest one in the world to bypass.
Yeah.
But if you like it because it keeps your car quiet, I propose, instead of worrying about how quiet you want your car to be, make it louder. And then you won't have to worry about it, right? Because if it's louder, then you don't hear any noise.
Yeah.
Right? You won't hear the outside world becking at you.
Oh, you worry about road noise, you can, sound deaden the whole car.
Now, like I said, it's one of the easiest ones to bypass. However, now if you're like, well, do I create a system outside of it? Meaning, do I get a T-harness? Do I keep my radio on? And then I just take my speaker wires and I go to some form of a media player? There's actually things you can do for that. Like if you want a totally separate audio system from that and you want to disconnect the speakers, and you can do that with a mini controller for a DSP amplifier. So like Helix has the
conductor,
Arc has their whole screen that allows you to do all kinds of neat stuff. Audison has a version of it. All of them have not. Moscone has the Gladiator. Yeah. So, you could do something like that, have some form of a portable mini device, your phone maybe, pipe that in through that, control bass, volume up and down, change your sources, subwoofer level control, balance fader, things like that inside of a controller, separate from the car itself. But keep in mind now you're going to lose Bluetooth and all those other things. Now, some of those will allow you to take 2 channels of audio and input them in and then use that as a trigger. So when you get a phone call, it will automatically switch the input over to the radio so that maybe the sound comes out of the center channel or something like that. So there's ways to do things like that they get complicated, but they're doable.
Yep.
But I mean, in this car, it's easy enough just to get rid of the ANC. I mean, some roadkill, before it gets really expensive. Would be cool.
It's going to be a hassle. Ready?
Hold on. Stereo Steve is saying the PAC TR12. My eyes open wide when I seen that, but then I saw it was unavailable. Thoughts? So, Steve, Metra makes another piece called a trigger. It's the part number is trigger. It does very similar things, but it's way easier to use. So try the Metra Access Trigger. TI-double-G-R. Anyways, the trigger is very similar, as well as the pop stop, the PS. I don't know, it's like PS1, pop stop 1 or something like that. It's great for pops, turn on and off pops. And they're all really easy to program through computers or just really cool push buttons with displays.
Buttons.
So, anyways, going back.
Okay.
Yes. F-150 Blackbird 810 shallow and a Kenwood XR all around. What is a good starting point for frequency settings on the XR 1800.1P component set? All specs are mid and tweet combined, etc. 35 to 45. 3200, 24 dB Linkwix Riley up and down would be a really good crossover starting point for the tweeter. And then the mid range is obviously like 80 hertz would be where you'd want to go on that. But those we would typically do 3200 up and down. 24 dB Linkwix Riley is where we were at on those. If you feel the tweeter is getting too much sound down that low, which I don't think you will, you can always bump it up to like, 4,000. See where that takes you. But yeah. Is there a difference in SQ and volume between the 997 XR and the 908 XR? Would like to upgrade from a 396 BT, adding it to DSP amp that already installed. Thank you. No, those are the same. There's no difference. Sound wise, it's identical. They have the same components, same chips, same everything. So they both end in 7, which is telling you that they're both on the inside, as far as that goes, the same.
Okay.
So, speaking of Arc Audio, let's send good vibes to the Brian Mitchell. His dog's going in for major surgery, and that's his baby. Yes, Princess is going in to have spinal surgery done tonight. So yes, definitely hoping for the best with the little Frenchie.
For sure.
Yeah, we'll let you know tomorrow. Have you ever upgraded your or a customer's amp based on specs and hype, but was disappointed because you didn't hear an improvement? If so, what did they upgrade from? That's a great question, and I try to avoid this at all costs because I hate doing that. I hate wasting my time, which you agree.
Mm-hmm.
We hate putting in stuff that we won't. And at this point, we pretty much don't. Like, if you come in and you want something really stupid, we will try to talk you out of it. And then if you still want to do it, then we're probably not the right people for you. I'm not one of those guys like Paul will sometimes want to be like, oh, just charge them. Just charge them more. And I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to get involved in it. I don't want to be responsible for it. I don't want to do it. Specifically like under seat subwoofers where you get like those little boxes, they're like this tall and they have an amp and a sub and, they're supposedly going to put out bass. They might do that really well overseas, but here we want real bass. And so anytime somebody shows up with one of those, I have a hard time with it. And I always felt like, dude, you must not want, because like 6x9s in the doors sometimes will put out more bass than these things will.
Right. The cars that they have the metal wall in the back of the seat.
Oh yeah, they want to put subs in the trunk.
You cannot get sound through that thing, and it's just hard. Sometimes they just want to put like a 110. It doesn't sound good.
Yeah, so. It's like, dude, you're not going to get the air like a Mercedes are very right. Cadillacs. Yeah. Cars like that, it's like, dude, you got to put twice as much crap in the trunk to make it sound half as good.
Yeah.
But most of the time, and the other, like, for example, like white box radios that questionable names, we won't put those in because they're just asking for trouble, and they sound bad, And it's like I don't want to take those chances, I like putting in proven stuff that we know works.
Yeah.
When we get stuff that doesn't, it just it's so frustrating. So, but yeah, I mean, most of the time we try to like speaker wise, if for example, like we've done some situations where it's like the factory speakers suck and we're going to try to do an improvement, like what we just call like a basic upgrade, where it's like, hey, we've done this, and obviously we do it in Jeeps, we do it in some of the Lexus Infinities, where it's like they have a single cone driver up on the top of the dash that sucks, and we'll take those out, we'll put like some Kenwood C3s up in there, and we'll just test them out and see if they actually make a difference. So we're not going to finish the install. We're literally just going to pull the factories out, put these in, turn it on, A/B between the two, see if there's a noticeable difference. And then if there is, then we'll move forward with it. But if there isn't, then it's just exploratory surgery at that point. We just move on. Which is sad, but it happens.
It's sad?
Sad. So sad.
Okay.
Okay. Keep going.
Hey, guys. A 2006 Jeep livery with a double din Pioneer. What do you use to restore the steering wheel controls?
What is it?
A 2006 Jeep livery.
That's actually pretty simple. I mean, if you bought so Pack makes the CP2, which is their steering wheel control interface. All right, so the problem with the Jeep Liberty 2006 is it's Jeep Liberty with 2006 So,
what about data? They don't make nothing.
I don't know. They might.
I mean, the new
they might.
SW.
Well, see, you need a smart harness for that car, which is
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, I'm just buying a smart harness and calling it a day. I can't see, so I have to do it like this.
You can see?
I
need glasses?
Hold on. I'm a professional. Show me everything. So, like, here, this is a quick search to pack-audio.com, and you just type in make, model, and year. And, like, here is
the second option.
Here's steering wheel control interfaces. So we got...
that's it. If you click in that one...
you got a CP2 right there.
Yeah.
And then this is just a basic harness. Yeah. So you need a CP2. SWIX.
What?
That I know. What is that? No, CP2, CP5. That's it. And I'm sure the Pack or the Metra, AWS, whatever will work also. But yeah. The CP2, you can download an app to your phone and it'll tell you how to wire it up. Which is even cooler.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty nifty, bro.
Here we go.
Let's start the show. What are we doing? Pull it up. Hey, guys. What do you think of the Kenwood 6903s versus the Pioneer whatever turds? I mean, that's what it says. Which has better sound? 6903Cs.
Oh, no question.
Are without question.
Kenwoods will destroy. Like, yeah, exactly. I have a lot of crap in there. Be careful.
Just flip up the top.
Yeah.
Boom. Put them in right now.
And this one, right here. It's going to sound fantastic.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so good. They're going to weep. There's going to be tears. We're going to make it so cool.
Okay.
Big fish, little fish, big fish, little fish. Okay. Oh, what is this? Can I do that? Okay.
I got it.
Okay. So, hey guys, have you ever worked on a BMW E39? I'm looking into maybe building some 6.5 inch into the kick and do custom A-pillars with tweeters in mid-range. So, here's the thing. I drive a Mustang, and he drives a Taos, and you drive a BMW. The thing that separates all of these is that an E93 means something to a BMW owner. Mm-hmm. It does not mean anything to the rest of us. So, if you drive an M3, a 325, a I whatever, I will know what you're talking about. But I do not give two craps about those numbers. I don't know what that means.
I don't remember if that's
I don't know.
3 Series.
I'm sure it's a 3 Series.
Or a 5 Series. But
I don't know. And that's not being mean. I don't mean to sound like a dick.
No.
I do, but I don't.
It's a 5 Series. There you go. See?
Hey! All right. 2005-ish series.
5
Perfect.
Series.
That I can work with. First thing I would ask is, doesn't it have the speakers underneath the... Do you have the subs underneath the seats? Because those are a great place for mid-bass. Like, you don't even have to build them into the kicks. You can put, like, really good mid-bass underneath. There's a bunch of people that make factory 8-inch. Merle makes one. We've put 7-inch Hertz in there before. Mm-hmm. Like, Hertz made a Cento? I think they had a Cento. Cento, sorry.
Come on, man.
I know. It doesn't, yeah. Anyways, that we've put underneath those to give you that mid bass. So there's you put great mid bass underneath the seats, and it will present itself forward, especially if you have a DSP. Now, I totally get the desire to put speakers as far forward as you can in that because they are kind of mounted back. And I would if you have the talent to build some A-pillars for that, oh, totally.
So I was just going to say, Herman
Yeah.
is that
Oh yeah, he totally
on the kicks, and he had to remove so much stuff.
Oh yeah, he
on
pulled,
the sides because
he had to cut holes.
he has to cut holes and
crazy.
relocate
he
the
did
computer
8-inch,
on the side.
So he cut holes to the outside of the car too. He actually took him longer to build the kick panels than it did to take the dash out.
The whole car.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, yes, the tweeter factory's moving forward for sure. Because you can only get. I mean, there again, it all depends on how intense you want to get with it. I really liked when PETA, from PS Sound, put the tweeters up. He took the little square. I call them I'm going to screw it up, call them ATMs, but I think they're like AMTs. Yeah.
It's ATM.
It's not ATM.
Because it takes you money.
Yeah, it costs you money. Up on that one BMW, those things sounded so good up high like that. It was amazing.
I love those. They sound really
car
good.
sounded
They
so
sound
good.
really nice.
All right, speaking of that, let me switch over here.
For sure.
Because it's time. This next segment is brought to you by the fine folks at Audio Control. I sound like Kermit the Frog. Hey, have you been to the new Audio Control, seen the new Altitude Series amplifiers? They make a bunch of them. You have the 600.4, the 1100.5, and the 800.1. One thing that makes these amplifiers, and specifically this line, so fantastic is if you are going to integrate it into your factory system, it does have high level built into it. One of the other features it has is the cool valet feature, which allows you to add a secondary input next to the remote turn on to trigger a decrease in audio. So if you take your car or your kid's driving, you can flick a hidden switch and it'll mute it. It won't be totally off. They'll still get sound. It just brings it down. It's a really cool idea. That's why it looks like in the picture there, it looks like there's 2 remote turn-ons. One of those mutes the sound down, which is really nice. But because it has high level built into it, it makes it very easy in order for you to add it into a factory system. So head over to audiocontrol.com. And also this week on Thursday,
This
we will be doing a special show before the next show, which is the Hi-Fi show at 8:30. We will have Gary Bell, from
Audio Control.
From Audio Control, a.k.a. Stinger, as well as the Old Fashioned Podcast, one half of the Old Fashioned Podcast. Will be one half, because he's half. It's Maddie,
one orange.
Maddie and Gary. We'll be here Thursday for you guys to ask questions. So we will have him here in the studio. We're super excited. It's the first time Gary's come on the show. I can't wait. If you've never met him, you've only heard about him. He's worked for Alpine. He helped build the Sinister 6. So for those of you guys, just look up Sinister 6.
I have a picture of that.
Oh, it's so cool. Anyways, we're going to have him here in the install bay and sitting right here for us to talk to. Actually, probably sitting where Fernando is.
No, he's going to sit in here.
And I'm going to be there. To the side. But anyways, he will be Thursday, so make sure you check the feed for what time that is going to happen.
Yeah.
Pretty excited to have him here. Okay, moving on. Yo, Dean, Fernando.
Yeah.
Sorry y'all had to deal with the Jeep 911. It was brutal to watch. Here's the funny thing about that is we've actually been talking with that gentleman, very nice guy, been talking to him for over a year now. I didn't realize that. I just know he's been back many times. We've gone through many iterations of this. Like there was one iteration of it, and then the Rockford stuff came out, and he really wanted the Rockford stuff. But at the time, the boxes wouldn't fit. We didn't know what to do. Then Kicker came out with that down firing box that fit perfect, and kind of that sealed the deal because that fit everything together. And like when that thing slid in there, his eyes lit up, and he goes, "How can we do this?" And I went to Paul, and we came up with how we were going to do it. And everything worked out in the end. So he was happy. He was so happy. He hasn't driven that thing in a year. It's been sitting in his garage on a charger because he absolutely
couldn't drive it.
He couldn't drive it. He'd hit his head on the sound bar. He's just a tall fella. But no, we were so excited. He was so happy. And I'm happy because I apparently finally gave him what he wanted. I don't have to talk to him anymore. So that's all good. What's up, Chris? What's up, Mary Lou? Hola, tacos. Or tostadas, maybe? I don't know. Yep. We're getting it all out. Get it all out.
She's like, Happy Independence Day. I swear.
Oh, see, but okay. So, Mr. J, the ANC module is all by itself. Like you don't even have to screw with anything in the car. Literally, it's just one. It's one like 16-pin plug,
you
and
wouldn't
you just
even notice
unplug it,
that was
and it's
unplugged.
like. And there again, it's 2016. I'm sure it's in one of two
17.
places. It's either in the top of the dash or it's in the glove box. It's probably in the glove box.
On top of the dash on the glove box.
Well, yeah, because there's a couple of them
the
that
glove
are
box,
over here. All you have to do is type in ANC Mike 2017 Honda, and all you literally just one click, done, and that's it. 2 10mm, take it out, throw it in the trash. Don't throw it in the trash, but you don't need it. So it's like when I say it is the easiest car to bypass, it is so easy to bypass.
Just throw it in the trash.
Okay, you said the E90 E39 doesn't have mid base under the seat. That figures. Yeah, so kick panels it is. Oof. Ugh, all right. Well, kick panels it is. Try. I might recommend if we're trying to build kick panels and we don't want to go ham on like trying to, do all this crazy stuff. You might want to look at the Morel Virtus Carbon Nanos. They're super thin. Those are the really thin, and they put out a serious amount of mid base. And they have a 3-way set and a coaxial. So, but maybe check out the Virtus Carbon Nanos. Might make the job a little bit easier, and then you can do a 3-way. Yeah. There's always a will. Just don't ask me to do it because I don't do kicks.
Yeah.
Screw that. Did them once. Don't want to do it ever again.
I'm pretty sure this is the one that you.
If you bypass the ENC microphone,
yes,
you will still keep the Bluetooth. Yeah. So
correct.
There again, none of that interferes with anything. The Bluetooth mic is so there again. On a Honda Accord, there's 2 systems in a Honda Accord. And I'm pretty sure everyone in the comments can tell us what they are because I've said them a million times. There's a premium audio system, and there's a non-premium system. The premium system has a center channel, active tweeter, active mid, active tweeter, active mid, and a subwoofer in the back. It's a 10-channel system. To upgrade that, you go after the amplifier, unfortunately, and you have to retain the center channel, meaning it has to be amplified, thumbs up, the 2 front tweeters, 2 front mids, and the subwoofer. So you need a DSP, because you got to have a DSP, that has 6 channels of input in order for you to properly integrate into this, which we have a bunch of videos showing how to do that. Secondly, you have the bass audio system, which is just front sound, meaning tweeter mid on 1 channel, and rear speakers, no sub, no center. That is the easiest one to deal with. All you need is straight high level and you're out. DSP is still nice, but that's super easy. Make a T-harness behind the radio. Bob's your uncle. Everyone's good. But either way, pull the ANC and you're done. So,
yeah.
I mean, in my head, it's pretty straightfortard. But
your head is different.
My head is different. I do this for a living. Totally. I totally understand.
Like this morning, I'm like, dude, I did this. I'm confused.
Yes. Yeah. It's definitely. Hold on, what was that other one that
wow. I have these ones.
All right, pull it up. Just pull up the next one. We'll figure it out. Let's go back down here. Getting ready to order my DAX 800XR for my 2015 Mustang. I'm so excited. I know they're available. I'm excited too.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I really want one for my Mustang.
Are you excited too?
I'm this is the most excited I've ever been, because I know that's a snowball. If I can get the radio I want, get that put in, then the amplifier I want, it will be here very soon. Very soon. They have them. They're just, Brad is doing his things to them to make sure everything does what they want. Yeah. And then it's just a matter of like putting in the speakers.
Yeah.
So, but the radio I think will really, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Jeff.
Okay? Actually, Kevin, I have an answer for that. What was Jeep smoking when they went from 6.5 to 4 inch? They weren't smoking anything. So
how do you know?
Well, yeah, it's true. So the company they hired several when they redesigned the Jeep. Obviously, they went to a bunch of different manufacturers and had them bid on what they wanted. And they gave them specs, meaning it had to weigh this much, it had to reproduce sound from this point to that point, and it had to be this price. So, Alpine won the bid with the 4 inch because it fit within everything that Jeep asked. So that 4-inch, even though everyone hates it, it actually plays lower than the factory 6.5 did from the previous model. Okay. And with the 3.5 in the top of the dash, it actually has a wider soundstage than the tweeter that was up there previous. So in reality, it sucks, but it sounds better than the previous version of the Jeep. And that's what they were trying to achieve. They were trying. They went from aiming at you to off the windshield, which they thought they'd get a better sound off of. And everyone complained that these were tweeters aiming at your face just weren't working for them. So they went to a mid range or middler. So yeah, they actually built what everybody asked for. Okay, which is funny. The only people complaining are us because we're trying to modify. The thing is we know it still sounds like crap. And they thought they were fixing it. And there's still thousands and thousands of these that everyone that has them is happy with. But as soon as you hear a Jeep that sounds fantastic, this sucks. Now, we went to Metro, of course, and we said, hey, guys, could you... Well, actually, we went to everybody. Metro was just the only one that said yes. Metro makes the grill replacements for the Jeep. So if you want to get rid of the stupid 4-inch holes, you go to metroonline.com, type in your make, model, and year of your Jeep, and they have the replacement grills. So you can do a cut-in kit just like you do on a Harley, just like Arc Audio sells for your bags. You can cut in, put a 6x9 in. They sell the grills that you can make so you can actually get all that 6.5-inch sound out of there. Yeah. Oh, go figure. How cool is that? They make a matching grill for the top, too. That's all it does is match. So if you get some guy that's like, this is silver, this is gray, well, fine, just buy two. So there was science behind it, and the science was money. And they were trying to make everybody happy. And you know what happens when you try to make everybody happy?
What?
You make nobody happy.
Really?
Yeah.
How's that work?
It's stupid. But it happens. It happens. So, and thank God they did, because if they made it sound good. Can I just pull one up?
You can do whatever.
It says, do you prefer Access or Amp Pro for the new Silverados if doing an amp rack behind the back seat, assuming you were running a different DSP?
Sorry, my bad. I was trying to put it in the...
Like you?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Let me see if I can...
I got it.
Okay, sorry.
Different DSP with all-pass filters. Okay, so regardless of... Okay, so two things. Whether you go with the Access or the Amp Pro, the difference between the two is the Access piece has a DSP built into it. The Amp Pro does not. So if you're going to be doing a different DSP, it makes sense to go with the Amp Pro because you're already doing another DSP. Now, as far as all-pass filters, they're gone. As soon as you put a new DSP in, as soon as you put the Access to the Amp Pro in, you remove all of the equalization from the vehicle. Yeah. Meaning there is no more all-pass filters, there's no more time delay, there is no more
just a
EQ.
Flat signal.
It gives you a flat signal into whatever you're doing. So if you're going before, or if you're trying to integrate into the stereo, then you got to deal with the all-pass filters and fun stuff like that. But the whole purpose of the Access piece or the Amp Pro is to not have to deal with crap. Now, if you just want to put all pass filters in to try to emulate what the factory did, go for it, bro. But time delay would probably be a better move.
Now, one of the things, if you have a Silverado and you're just thinking of just adding just regular amplifiers, the Access, that will be probably the better option because it has a built-in
DSP. Because it has a built-in DSP.
So,
but if you're running a different DSP, I'm thinking the Amp Pro. Now, this is assuming that you have a Bose system.
And you're going to run
because the Amp
DSP.
Pro doesn't work unless it's a Bose system, or it has the amplifier in it.
Yeah,
the non-branded amplified system. Now, Access is the only one that allows you to use the piece in a non-factory amplified system, which they're the only ones that make it, and I run that piece religiously because it works. It does exactly what we want, and it controls that god-awful chime, which to me is the most important thing. So, and it has a generic DSP. So most people are not wanting to spend the money to get the DSP, but, they're, again, Blackbird all the way. Boom. It's that simple.
Blackbird is the answer?
I mean, it depends what the question is, but it's not a bad answer. This next segment is brought to you by the fine folks at Focal Dash America. Hey, just found out over the weekend that May 1st was supposed to be the new, prices are all going up. They've actually held it for 30 days.
That's pretty good.
While supplies last, and prices may vary. But regardless of that, speakers, we all need new speakers, and every manufacturer has a good, better, best.
Yeah.
And the best in Focal start with the slate fibers, and they go up to the slate fibers. Then they go up to the flax, and then they go to K2, and they go to Utopia. And these are all amazing speakers.
Mm-hmm.
And our most popular speaker is definitely the flax driver. Now, the nice thing is we talk about them all the time, but we very rarely do we talk about the slate fiber. And the slate fiber is unique in that it only has a 6.5-inch coaxial and a 6.5 component. It is the only speaker in Focal's line that has a 2-piece crossover. So that if the tweeter and the mid bass are in 2 separate places, you can separate the crossovers apart and move them where you need to go if you're planning on going passive.
Yeah.
So if that's something that you're interested in and you want that amazing sound because it has the same basket as the higher end drivers, it's just a different cone.
Mm-hmm.
So you can check it out at focal-america.com.
One of my favorite, and I'm saying
film.
One of my favorite speakers to install, right? To install in a car is the plug and play system because it comes with everything.
Oh, yeah.
And right off the box, it sounds good. So,
what's up, Mr. Brinkley?
What up?
And they're a French company, by the way, so their products are made in France.
Oui. No.
I don't know. It's just kind of silly sometimes. What's up, guys? What's your opinion on the Gladen RC 3200 C1 and the RC? Planning on using both in system with Morel hybrids and a stereo integrity 18-inch sub. Wow. Okay. I was gonna say pull them up. I mean,
I'm trying to.
Well, you gotta pull faster, bro.
Yeah, my internet doesn't work that way.
I mean, you crashed our show the other day.
Oh, really?
When you were trying to search on the internet, you totally crashed the show. It's like I've never seen it go down so fast. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm gonna pull up Kevin here in a minute. Oh, they're amplifiers. Yeah.
Big amplifier.
Yeah. No, those are nice. Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they nice.
No,
nice
we
amplifiers.
did that. Yeah, we've used those before. Not that big one though. But no, go for it. Yeah, they're fantastic amplifiers. Yeah. Have you seen the new F-150s with BO that only the tweeter play? Tweeters play all the time. Mids play on a very rare occasion. No. Okay, so to be fair, when it comes to a factory system like a BO, the only thing we do is take them out. And I mean, like, viciously take them out. I don't. It's not real important to hear what they sound like because we know they suck. Like, you've heard one, you're pretty much moving forward. Now, the reason why this could be happening, there again, unless it's some new weird feature that they've built into it, but I can't say that they have, is that it sounds to me like an amplifier is going bad because the tweeter gets played off of the radio. So they keep making the amplifier smaller and smaller and cheaper in these systems. If you followed along with the BO amplifiers, now the current BO amplifier has a new harness that I think Nav TV has just started to release their interface for it, which is cool. They were the first with the Ford BO system before, so they have a new BO system. They're first for that one as well. But depending on what level of BO system you have, whether it's the base, whether it's F-150, whether it's this car or that car, or whether it's the Unleashed, some of the speakers are powered off the radio and some of them are powered off the amplifier. So we end up having to grab speakers in different locations. It sounds to me like you're talking about some weird thing that it's doing where it's just playing tweeters and not the mid-range, which is very weird and probably sounds like crap.
Sounds like crap.
Go to Corey, because that was a part 2 to that question.
Okay, so hang on.
Well, just click on that. It says, about the Emperor Access, my Silverado is Bose, and I'm adding a DSP. I have easy access to the unit, trying to do first SQ build with JL Max 2.
There you go.
So there you go. Do the Amp Pro.
Amp Pro, yep.
Yeah, just do the Amp Pro.
100%.
Keep it simple. No reason to have double DSPs. Okay.
Well, the more DSPs, the better, no?
No, that's not always the case. Have you guys felt a 2025 Tundra with JBL yet for interfacing and adding subs?
That was Joe's.
So it was Joe's 2024.
Really?
Yeah, it's 2024.
Oh, I thought it was 2025.
No, it was 2024 because we had to wait. Honestly, I have no idea, but I thought there was a sub pro for this. I could have swore there was a sub pro. Hang on. Didn't I go to pack somewhere in here? I felt like I went to pack. Yeah, I went to pack here. All right, hold on. Go back a page. I know.
What's up, Mike? How you doing, buddy?
What is it? Is it a Tundra?
Tundra.
That's why, because it's only for
2024.
Yeah, it's just I don't think they've tested the
Tundra.
The Tundra yet.
Okay.
Because all they list is the 4Runner, which is the.
That's crazy, right? Because it's like a 4Runner.
Well, the 4Runner might be an old technology because remember the 4Runner is always the dog. So.
Wow.
I feel like this is one of those things. Wow, it's $710 right now. Ooh, somebody got tariffs turned on.
How much is it?
$710 is retail on it right now.
Wow. Can you click like turn it off just to see how much it was?
No. Go back in the Wayback Machine?
Yeah.
Okay. No, we haven't yet. So sorry about that. Moving on to the next one.
All
sorry.
Right.
Oh, look. Hey, it's Mike. Hi, Mike. I'm good. Still can't believe about Arty. What
great guy.
Hey, yeah, I know.
Great guy, man.
I have a kicker, IQ 1000 and IQ 504.
Wow.
That I'm wanting to have installed in my weekend car. Are you guys interested in the project? I'm not that physically nimble due to health issues. I live not far. So the best way for something like this is first we need to know what your weekend car is. So put together an email and email it to spell it all out, 5starcarstereo@gmail.com. So just fill out, FIVE, and that will take you to Paul and just put down all the information, car, make, model, year, a couple pictures if you have them, and information like that. We're very familiar with the IQ amplifiers. We just need to know what vehicle they're going in, what year the vehicle is, and stuff like that.
What's the goal, right?
To find out if they work in those cars. One of the reason why that amplifier line is discontinued is they don't work in modern cars anymore because of their power supplies, and they are hogs. So there again, if you have a weak electrical system, they are no good for that. If you have a modern vehicle that plays higher voltage, they are not good for that either. Like they won't work in most cars on the road right now that are brand new because their voltage swing isn't capable of handling what a lot of electrical systems. So,
and for the gentleman
there he is.
of the Toyota, here you go.
Definitely coming from Mike Lake Stinger, the engineer that makes our dreams come true. No sub pro yet for the TY14, but should be good with the AP4 TY14, but just not tested officially yet. So, and this is what I thought. So for your Tundra,
yeah.
Okay, Mike Lake is the guy who physically makes these things. All right, just so you know. So he's saying this. It should be good to go.
While he's eating a cookie.
While he's eating a cookie.
Yeah.
He likes sausages. He calls hot dog sausages. He's British. Anyways, my point is if you do decide to give it a go, make sure you get it from somebody that will return it for you. And don't go ham on it. Just plug it in, see if you get output and whatnot. And if he's saying it should work, it's just not officially tested yet, you have a pretty good chance of working. So it's not a sub pro. It's the full APY TY14, which is what you want, because eventually you're going to get rid of the rest of the crap in the car and you'll be all set to do it.
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
You may want to wait till the tariffs are over, though. Just saying. Because holy cow, that went up a lot. Damn. Hi, guys. Which one you pick? Kenwood 1800.1s or 6902s for active setup in GMC Yukon? Thanks. Ooh. This is a tough one.
Yeah. I still go with the 69s.
You thinking the 6902s?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, just because, 2.5. The 1801s, I think, still has a tweeter.
It does have a tweeter, but it is a soft tweeter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's still a soft tweeter.
Mm-hmm.
So I get your thinking on that.
Mm-hmm.
I totally get your thinking on that, and I would probably agree with you. But yeah.
Go ahead.
No. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just change it.
I changed to Moscone.
Hey, we did a lot of talking just now about amplifiers and voltage systems and old cars versus new cars and being able to integrate into a lot of these newer cars. And hey, Moscone-America.com takes care of you on this. They make small footprint, easy to install amplifiers that can pretty much integrate into anything you want because they have DSP, they have high level input. SB is part of that. So if you're trying to put in like a new Bronco, a new F series pickup, that isn't premium audio, these can integrate into that with no problem. They're full DSP amplifiers. They have multiple inputs and outputs to help your installation. And like I said, they are a very small footprint and very efficient. So you get a lot of power out of a very small package.
For sure.
So, Dean agreed with Fernando. We do all the time.
Yeah.
Anyways, you can find them at Moscone-America.com.
There you go.
Some of the Metro brands pricing went crazy. I hope it's temporary. Okay, so I know this is going to be a shock to some of you out there, but there's this guy, and he imposed a whole bunch of tariffs in the hopes that by tomorrow, industries will be built in America overnight. And so the rest of us have to deal with this until that happens. So it's going to hurt before it feels better. I don't know. I don't get into this stuff, so I'm just parroting what I've heard. So I have no opinion on the matter. But yes, I'm with you. I hope it doesn't stay that way.
Yeah.
Peel the Band-Aid off fast. Hello, lads. On a Kenwood head unit, sound reconstruction, sound realizer, bass extender, speaker side, subwoofer, have a negative effect on how the audio control epicenter functions. It can, yes, because you're doing things to the audio. So, all right, bass extender wouldn't, because what bass extender was designed to do is that when you turn bass extender on, all it does is remove, I believe it's the last 3 EQ bands from your highs. So it only lets like the last 3 bands of equalization affect the subwoofer output and not the front and rear output. So that's what it is. So it allows you to actually adjust the subwoofer output from the EQ and not distort your mid bass on front and rear. So that's kind of a cool feature. It would be a boost, so that could affect your epicenter as far as like more bass. Ooh, that could be bad. Sound realizer is a function put in there to, it's kind of a throwback to when we had crappy recordings. And so I feel like sound reconstruction is not that. I feel like it's something else. But those were there for like when you have crappy MP3s and stuff like that. Typically, the one at the top right that comes like set on, that's the salt and pepper Kenwood puts out. That always stays on. It never turns off. Below that though is like sound whatever. I don't remember what it is, but that's for like crappy recordings. So I don't think it would affect. I just leave them off anyways because we really don't need them with a modern phone. Hi DNF. What's the common storage life of flax speakers? Saving a pair for my next car. So really what it comes down to is properly rotating your storage. Okay. So nothing's going to happen in a year. Okay. If you keep them inside in an air conditioned area where they're not baking in the sun, they'll be fine. What you may want to do is maybe every 6 months, flip them over. So if you're laying them flat in there, just flip them over. Okay. Let them, because
you're still in the box, just flip them.
Yeah, just flip the whole box over. You know, if you have them on their side, don't store them on their side. Store them flat. Okay. What happens is over time, the materials start to break down, specifically in the spider and the surround, and it starts to sag. But that's years, like years. So I don't think you got anything to worry about. I mean, unless we're talking on a 5-year
project. Unless you have
project.
the first generation of the flags, right?
Yeah, I think you should be okay. But if you're one of those paranoid people, every 6 months, just flip the box.
Every day.
Yeah.
Like tortillas.
JL is not changing their name. They will always be JL. They just got a new parent company, Garmin.
No, what they trying to do is what they say is like Garmin just changed the name of the whole Facebook page.
Yes.
Right? From
So
Garmin,
they've been folded into the Garmin verse.
I feel that they wanna let you guys know who owns this JL company now.
Some people's business models they have to flex.
Right.
Oh, 100%.
So it's like, hey, we are now.
Right. And so we've carried, I felt like we've kind of beat this topic, but we'll beat it a little bit more. So for example, like Rockford is owned by Progressive Group.
Yeah.
Progressive Group didn't do anything to the Rockford webpage. They own many things. They own Wet Sounds. They own ATG. They own Rockford. They own 3 separate audio brands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they're all on their own. They all have 3 separate caseworkers, so to speak.
Their own social media and everything.
They're all their own companies. Audio Control is owned by Stinger. You still have an Audio Control page. You can go to Stinger, and some of the stuff is there, obviously, because why would it not be? But they still have their own page. They also have their own page so much so that the home audio, which is no longer part of Stinger, is sharing the same webpage. So you still, audiocontrol.com has 2 owners. The home audio side, that's a whole different company, and the car audio side, which is Stinger. So that's cool. So that's how crazy those guys are. Who else? Phoenix Gold, when Stinger cared about them, but now Phoenix Gold is in Europe, so phoenixgold.com still exists. It's Phoenix Gold EU, which is where all that stuff goes. I'm trying to think of who else has been bought out in the last 6 months. JVC Kenwood, when they merged many years back, there is jvckenwood.com, but it's like JVC Kenwood CA, because in Canada, the 2 companies. But here in the U.S., JVC.com is itself, Kenwood is its own. So in the United States, those 2 companies are still totally separate. But in Canada, I can tell you right now, it's not. In the rest of the world, it's not. It's JVC Kenwood is one company. And JVC still has a home audio division, which is part of it. And Kenwood still has the whole microphones where they make walkie-talkies and stuff, which is still part of it. But Garmin decided that they wanted to roll everything into one Garmin. Oh, I was thinking of Harman International.
Oh, okay.
So Harman International, you go to JBL still page. Go to BO still page. Go to Mark Levinson. If you go to Harman International, just Harman International by Samsung or something like that. But Samsung is very standoffish as far as the name goes. So they didn't it's there if you look for it. Most people don't even know it's a thing, which is even weirder. But Garmin didn't want to do that. Garmin rolled JL Audio into their name and their jacket. And so now to get to JL, you have to open the Garmin jacket to go inside. It's still there. They're still going to come out with products. They're still going to do all kinds of stuff. People that work there still work there.
Love is still there.
Love is still there. It's just now it's all under there. So they did something a little different.
At the end of the day,
which is what totally threw everybody off.
They have a bigger wallet.
Who
so it's
does that?
There you go.
Nobody does that. It's crazy. What about Pioneer? Who owns Pioneer? Pioneer is owned by a Chinese investment corporation.
Now.
That's who owns Pioneer. So, and they've sold off everything other than the Pioneer car audio. So the DJ equipment is owned by somebody else. The bike parts that they used to make that they were actually real successful with is owned by somebody else. Pioneer Home is somebody else. I think is Integra, which is Onkyo. The only thing that the holding group still has actively produced is car audio. But yeah, and there again, that's not a good thing or a bad thing, but it is, they have some controlling interest in what's happening and where products are coming from. But hey, it's typical Pioneer stuff. So it's Pioneers, you love them or you hate them. It's whatever you want to do. It's just a brand. Trying to Clarion got absorbed into everybody. So like JL owns, or Garmin owns part of Clarion Marine now because that was owned by JL. So Sony is Sony. It's just still Sony because they make motion pictures.
Son.
Well, no, I was thinking radio brands.
Okay.
Alpine is still Alpine. Alpine is actually okay.
Alps.
So Alps,
yeah.
ALP is Alps. Alps Electronics is who has owned Alpine forever. And then I think right before COVID, they rolled everything into Alps Electronics. So Alpine, the wall between the two disappeared, and they merged the two companies into one, so Alps Electronics. But you can still go to alpine.com and find Alpine product, even though the parent company and the company are now one big company, as whereas before they weren't, which is weird. So yeah.
Weird.
Anyways.
All right.
Moving on.
Well, a three-way component say get louder in a passive setup versus a two-way component passive on the same amplifier. Hertz Milli Pro components and the Hertz Milli 4-channel.
So a three-way set is 6 speakers as opposed to 4 speakers. If done properly, the three-way set should sound better and be louder, but not like, oh my god, damn! You just went to a three-way set, bro. Can you hear that over at the convenience store? That's not kind of louder. It's just you have three sets of speakers now doing the job that 2 sets of speakers are doing before. So you're going to add some depth to the music that you didn't have, even if you're passive. Yes, so louder, sure, but more range, louder in different places.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like you're going to be louder in frequencies you weren't louder in, because now you've added a mid-range. The mid-bass is going to play less, and the mid-range is going to play more, which is going to be up higher if done properly, which will make certain things sound louder than they were in the past. So yeah. Yes, and it's 100% in the 2024 Silverado. Yeah. So you're gonna do like the tweeter on the A pillar, and then the 2.5 in the dash, and then it's
doable.
Really, adding the tweeter is what makes moving the tweeter out to the side and putting the mid range in, which is probably what you probably have the tweeter where the mid range is, and that sucks in those cars, just because of the position of how they're done. Tweeter in the top of the dash doesn't work, and even GM knows that, because the new 2025s Bose systems, they've added the tweeter back to the A pillar. I wonder if you could just order the 2025 A pillars. I feel like the interior is the same.
Yeah.
So you might be able to just order the 2025 A pillars and not have to cut up your, you know what I mean? Just boom, factory done.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the new Bose system has them.
The tweeters.
Because they realized that the 2.5 in the top of the dash sucked. That's what I was thinking, right?
Fantastic.
If you do it, let me know, because we'll be doing that as well.
If it works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always prefer to do factory.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Have you guys ever heard of using a soft dome tweeter for the left and right and a hard dome tweeter for the center channel? Ask you for a friend. No, I've never heard of this. I get it. I understand. I could see where something like this might be. Okay, so really, Chris, I think the only time this would make sense is if there's a hole that the tweeters aren't filling, and you want something that tweeter can offer that the others can't.
Well, at that point, you just need a bigger tweeter.
No, I mean, what I'm saying, let's say... No, oh, jeez. Okay, all right, yeah, I get your point. All right, fair enough.
No, go ahead.
But no, I just feel that's the only time where this would make sense. It's like... So, for example, like, there again, we'll go back to the Infinity that just had...
Yep.
They had tweeters, as it turns out. They just sucked. So we swapped them, and then there was no tweeter in the center. So we added a tweeter in the center, and it just changed the whole dynamics of the system. So, if you have like a hole in the sound where, a tweeter of a hard dome, but I feel if you DSP it properly, it's probably not necessary.
Right.
But if you're just looking for maybe the efficiency, I don't know. I don't know how you do it, but there again, I feel like part of the fun of this, especially on DIY stuff, like it's your own, you just do it, see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell?
Yeah.
Go for it, bro.
Yeah.
Motley Crue's cool. Guns N' Roses sucks.
Really?
I can't stand Guns N' Roses. I know, I'm the one guy. It's okay.
Come on, man.
I don't like Guns N' Roses. I don't. Axl just tears me up. I love the music. I don't like the singing. Like, if you could just do it without the singing, it'd be so good.
So you just want the beats?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
want
I
karaoke.
just want to hear Slash. I just want to hear Slash ripping it up, bro. Is Skosh still around, or just Pack and Metra? I don't hear much about them anymore. So it's actually Pack, Metra, and Idata. And let me pull this up here real quick. Move the comment.
Yes.
Just remove the comment. There we go. So these are all the manufacturers that make stuff for us. This is it. So take a screenshot. Pack-Audio, Maestro, Idata.com, Metro Online, Nav TV, Mobridge, Spiral Audio, BeatSonic. These are them. This is where everything comes from. So, you know, that's it. Those are the companies we do. Most of the time we're using Idata. So we go to Idata first. If they make something interface wise, I just like being able to program my stuff. Nothing against my boy Mike, but I like laptop, do this, program it, everything's done, works. I don't like pushing buttons after the fact. But anyways, so there's a ton of stuff out there to be had. But Skosh still exists, believe it or not. They're still around, but they make like phone mounts now.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a few dash kits that I think come out of Skosh, but not many. You know, like we did a G35 not too long ago where he found a Skosh kit, and of course some of the air conditioning buttons didn't work.
Yeah,
which kind of sucked, but yeah,
that
they made really nice dash kits. From what I hear, it was more of a bookkeeping issue, you know, and then trying to compete with the big boys, which they were not doing very well because they made much better products.
Oh,
like,
they made 100% way better.
Dude, their dash kits were so sexy.
I love the JDMs, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they made really Megadeth for the win. I'm more of a Metallica guy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Heavy metal.
Dang. Now I did research A-Pillar for 2021. You guys, yeah. Hey, listen, let me know. I'm curious myself. It's all good. Neither one of them can sing anymore. I said it. Hey, listen, I agree. I totally agree. You know, I when we went on the cruise this past week, there was a band in house that, you know, cover bands. They there again, they didn't do great. They did great, but it wasn't like they were trying to sound like the people singing. The one guy did a really good job sounding like the Foo Fighters.
Mm-hmm.
But you could tell it wasn't. But it was good, you know, and I enjoyed it a lot. And it was fun. And I to me, that was way more fun. Now, if the Foo Fighters had been up there and that sounded right, I'd have been like, this sucks, you know, because I want it to sound like the CD or the phone or whatever the hell it is. Anyways, with that being said, oh my God, Monday's show is wrapping up and coming to an end. Boston Mike says Metallica all the way. For sure. Yeah. He'd probably like to stick his tongue in Lars, be like, hey, buddy. Anyways, I don't know. I don't know why I said that. His nose. He's got a big nose. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in this week and being part of the show. Don't forget, Thursday night, we will have Gary Bell on from Stinger, and the Old Fashioned Podcast will be here for your questions. So we'll be doing that probably between 6:30 is, I think, the goal.
Sure.
We'll see how the day goes. We can come. I'll let you know. There'll be a post so you guys can click on the link and do all that. I promise this time I won't shut it off. You know, I won't accidentally end the post like I did with Josh. That was so great on my part. So be ready for that, as well as it's Monday. Instagram Lives tomorrow. We'll be here talking about what's going on in the Bay, except for this SC430. We will not be talking about this because I'm not talking about it. I hate these cars. But yes, have a wonderful week. Yeah, and that's it. That's all we got. We'd like to thank you, the people in the side that ask the questions that make this possible. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Arc Audio, Audio Control, Moscone, Gladen, Focal. That's right, those guys. And yeah, you guys have a great night as always. We'll see you later next time.
Bye, guys.
Fade to black.